Hello, everyone. Welcome back
Hello.
to Freelance and Friends. And today we have an episode that we talked a little bit about in our last episode, where we are going to talk about webshop and how to have a web shop and why to have a web shop if you are an
Mm.
artist. And basically, I don't know that much about it. I am looking into maybe starting a web shop in the future. But Anna has had the web shop for a while. So what we're
Yes.
gonna do is that I am gonna ask her like all my beginners questions and see what kind of answers we can come up with here.
Yeah, I'll see if I can answer them.
Yeah. Um, and I think we're gonna talk a little bit maybe about like if it's smart to have a web shop. I think it
Mm.
definitely depends. So,
Mm.
but we're gonna get into that eventually, I think. So I have a lot of questions, and I think maybe they are. It might be a bit messy. It's because I don't know that much about this, and there's so many things, especially the technical things that kind of get me very confused. So
Mm. Mm.
we're, we're gonna
It's
try.
it's a lot. Yeah. It's taken me a while to get used to it. I think I've had a web shop for website and web shop. Well, I had a web shop first, and now I
Yeah.
have a website and a web shop at the same
Mm,
place.
yeah.
But I've had like a web shop for probably 5, 6 years,
Yeah.
but at different places, different domains. So yeah, I've had like a
Yeah.
try and fail kind of thing.
But that's perfect because that's
Yeah,
definitely what we need. We need like some
some
different
intel.
perspectives on that. Yeah, definitely. So, firstly, I just wanted to ask what do you sell in your web shop? What is the web shop you are running?
So the web shop I have now is on AKB Illustrations, my website. So
Hmm.
I've chosen to do like a plan with Wix, where you can have both a website and a web shop within the same sort of domain. And there I sell prints, I sell pins. I used to sell tote bags, but I need to find a new way to have them produced because I want them to be locally produced, and the people that I used like they had to stop during the pandemic. So but yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks. I like the tote bags.
I know. I've been looking into it
Mm.
though. So I really want to find somewhere else I can make them, but it's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like that's also something that I wanted to ask about.
Yeah.
So you have your web shop on Wix, where you have built your website, right?
Mm.
Yeah. But is that when you started your Wix website, was that then a template that you could just add into the web page?
Yes. So both
Yes.
Wix and Squarespace, I know, have very good templates. I think actually Adobe also have like a kind of portfolio website option for artists as well now. But I haven't tried that. I've only tried Squarespace and Wix, and
Mm.
they have a lot of templates that I can use to make it look like more professional without doing a lot of research on how to code it, how to place it, and all that. But you can also have the freedom to place things however you want them to. So it's kind of up to you what kind of tools you want to use. And it's pretty easy to get into once you've played around with it for a little while. I'm like chronically very easily irritated when it comes to technical things. Like if something doesn't work for me online or like in Photoshop or anything like that, I get so stupidly frustrated. It's like
Me too.
I can sit and just cry because something doesn't work the way that I want it to, and it's really annoying for me as well that I can't like control that emotion. But like Wix, it was pretty simple to get into once I like played around with it for a few days,
Mm.
and yeah,
And
not sponsored by the
why?
way.
But I wish.
Yeah,
Please
I wish.
sponsor us, Wix. No
Yeah.
worries. But why did you decide to start this web shop, and why do you think that it can be useful for artists?
So when I first began thinking about a web shop, it was because with the art shop that I've been a part of for a long time, we have a high season. You know, we have May till September and then December. Those are the months that I earn money in the shop. So I thought having a web shop where people can buy things year around would
Mm.
be a great thing. So when I first started, I actually tried Etsy. Um,
Good,
and
because that was one of my questions. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because people always talk about Etsy. And Etsy is a great platform for a lot of people. I think it can work out if if you have crafts, more like crafty things.
Hmm.
I think it's the perfect place. That's where I go, at least when I'm looking to buy crafts, like a handmade thing. Then
Yeah.
Etsy is the place to go. But I don't feel like prints necessarily is as well. Like it's not like the bestseller kind of item.
Hmm.
And Etsy also did this thing where they raised the percentages that they took from people's, like the sellers' sales. And there's already like a fee that you have to pay to be promoted on the marketplace or to have a spot on the marketplace. So you can also have
Hmm.
an Etsy without being on the marketplace, but then people have to specifically search for your name to
Yeah.
find you and buy from you.
So you
So
don't
there's
necessarily show up like just from luck.
that's the thing. So you
Yeah.
have to promote yourself a lot more. Um, and so there's a lot of fees then that like come
Mm.
in
That's
regularly.
true.
And then I found a free website that didn't take any. It did take percentages for each sale, but it didn't. Didn't have to pay to be a part of the site and all that. And that was called Store Envy. And I think I was there for 2 or 3 years, and that was pretty simple, a very very
Mm.
basic type of web shop. Not anything fancy, but it worked, and it was like a good deal for the
Was
time
that
being.
the site that you said that you could only sell 6 items at a time without paying?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so they had a
Mm.
limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there it was a limit of 6 items, and if you wanted to sell more than 6 items on this page, you had to pay more, right?
Well, they took more percentages from the
Okay.
sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I did that for a while, and then I decided to do it like for real, to make like my own web shop within my own website, because I've seen plenty of artists do the same. Like a lot of artists that I look up to have like their website and then a web shop connected to that website. So that's when
Mm.
I decided to do that with
Mm.
Wix. Mm,
Did you have a website already then?
no,
No. So you
didn't.
only had the web shop and you had your
Mm,
Instagram
mm.
as like your online presence.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
used kind of. I thought of Instagram as a portfolio in a way. Since I could just send like my Instagram if I wanted people to see my work, I could just send them my Instagram. But then I sort of realized that it doesn't. It's not that it's unprofessional, but it looks better if it's a website that is dedicated to your portfolio.
Yeah.
And also like Instagram, like you hear talk about TikTok like being banned
Mm.
places and it's going to disappear one day, just uh, like MySpace disappeared and like MSN groups disappeared. So websites
Yeah.
and apps, they disappear. And
Mm.
now that Twitter or X is like dying, then it's like you can see how easily an app can disappear, and then your portfolio will disappear with it in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So having your work somewhere else in like a place that you control is very good. You feel
Yeah.
safer.
I think that's very very good. I need to build a website myself as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, I think there was one more question about those things. Yeah, just going back to like mm, that kind of ties in with another question because I was
Yeah.
thinking like when do you think it is a good idea to consider having a web shop? Do you think everyone should just start a web shop and see if it works out, or do you think that in some cases it is maybe not going to work out so well?
I think if there is a demand, if you notice there's a demand for your work,
Hmm.
then that's a good sign that a web shop is
Yeah.
a good idea, like a good next step. What I would do if I'm unsure if there is a demand, I would try to join some kind of market. If you have prints or if you have crafts,
Mm.
try to join a market and see if it sells and if it's something that people would actually buy. Because just because it doesn't sell well doesn't mean it's not worth doing, but sometimes you figure out what will actually sell
Yeah.
by going to those kinds of markets.
Yeah, you mean like real life markets,
Yes,
right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
artist markets. So like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So basically, if you feel that there is a lot of people wanting to buy your work, then
mm,
a web shop might be a good
yeah,
idea.
mm,
But do you think that it is important to have some sort of reach already, like on social media or something like that, to create a web shop? Or do you think that
yeah,
doesn't matter?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, I think so. Unless you pay, like on Etsy, if you pay extra for being promoted on the marketplace, I think having a kind of following or people that like follow your work and want to buy your work helps a lot, because
Yeah.
then you already have, you have a group of people that is interested in buying your work. If not, I mean, I think you could do it, but then you need to be really, really business savvy and you need to be able to promote yourself really well.
Yeah.
From like
Yeah.
with no followers, starting a web shop, then it's like no one knows you're there.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that's where maybe using Etsy can be beneficial, I think, for
Mm,
people that have no reach
yeah.
on social media, because I think that on Etsy you can, as you said, like pay to be part of like the where you get shown on the marketplace, or what do you call
Mm,
it, the
yeah. The marketplace. Yeah.
homepage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there are more opportunities on Etsy for people just searching and finding you, because it's more like you search for things there and they find things when they
Mm,
search for them. But if you have the web shop on your web page,
yeah.
it's so tied to your name and
Mm,
your reach, I would say.
mm,
So I feel like maybe building a web shop inside your own web page is something that you should do if you have a reach and you have some
yes.
following. It can also be in the real world, like it doesn't have to be on social media. If people know
Mm,
your name and they know you, and you feel like a lot of people would know where to find you online, then
mm,
that's probably also some sort of reach. But yeah, just creating a web shop and a web page without having a business or anything to
yeah.
like build it from it, I think maybe it will be really hard. As you say, you have to
Yeah.
promote yourself quite well.
Yeah. 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 You have
Yeah.
to do a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah. And then maybe, yeah, it will be a lot of work for not that much profit. So,
Mm,
yeah. But that's good. I think, yeah, because I think Etsy, like, it seems to me like it should be quite hard to sell things there also, because there are so many
there's
things
a
and you
lot.
can find so much of the
Yeah.
same thing that you are making in a sense. Like,
That's the thing. Yeah.
yeah, and people
It
get
needs to be
so
more
like
like
sidetracked.
niche. Yeah. You have to have
Yeah,
a niche to sell well on Etsy. I feel like
yeah,
Bendik's work could
yeah,
do well, I think.
yeah, yeah,
Especially if it's
yeah, it could.
miniatures and not like big things, because I feel like there is like a cost. Like most of the things on Etsy that are popular are within the same kind of like yeah, they cost approximately the same. It's
Yeah,
not like
and the
very
prices are
very
so
expensive.
low.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
I think
sadly.
it seems really hard to compete with those prices on Etsy because they're so low. And
Mm,
I would say that if you know, like for example, me, I sometimes make these macrame
mm,
necklaces, and it would be like a very like common thing, I would say, to sell on Etsy. But
Yeah.
if I look up those types of necklaces on Etsy, they are so cheap. I mean, they take
Mm.
hours and hours and hours to make, and people sell them for so low prices.
Yeah.
And if I would put up my necklaces, then they would be there and you would look at them. And then underneath that, there would be someone else selling some sort of necklace very similar,
Yeah.
very much lower price.
Yeah.
I think people get very easily sidetracked and then they like don't buy
They
your
go for the
stuff.
cheapest option usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard competition on there, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's also a thing when you make your own web shop and website. You sort of get the opportunity to price yourself the way that you feel like you deserve or the work deserves. And since there's no other prices to compare yourself to within the web shop,
Yeah.
so yeah,
And also not that many distractions for the
yeah,
person
true.
looking at your work.
Mm,
So I think that's they don't get sidetracked and then click on something else. They would probably go through your gallery and then like look at the things that you sell and then consider if they want to buy something and then go out.
yeah,
While on, for example, Etsy, they would probably be like, "Oh, click, 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 click," and suddenly they're
yeah.
all the way over there with someone else. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And usually I just heart or put like a bunch of things in my cart and then I never buy anything. I have like
Yeah,
10 items in my cart on Etsy, but I don't buy it
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
because it's
that's
too
the
much. I can't decide between the things that I want, and then I just end up not buying anything. So,
yeah, that's the drill with Etsy. I think.
yeah.
I think some people earn quite a lot of money from having a shop on Etsy as well if they're just
Mm,
really good at it. I know some people actually earn a living from that, just having a shop on there. So,
mm.
but yeah, we're not the experts on that. So,
No, no, no.
yeah, so we have kind of talked through the different like solutions for a web shop. I feel like
Mm,
you've actually been through quite a lot of them. So Etsy is one.
mm.
It's basically a marketplace where you can create a shop and where there are a lot of other shops to buy things from. So people can just cruise around and find items. And then there is building it inside your own website
Mm.
that you have done now. And then there's also you kind of had this more just a web shop without the website
Mm.
and everything built into it, just a more simple solution. I would also say there maybe are some websites where you could also plug in a web shop if you have created a web shop outside of your website. I think you can like plug it together with your because I've seen people have like a web page and then you click on the web shop item and then they go kind of over to another
Ah, yeah, you probably link it.
page.
Yeah,
Yeah, you kind of link it, but just like in the menu.
yeah.
Yeah. So some people do that. I
Mm.
guess it turns out to be more of a cheap solution because maybe you can then have two platforms that are quite cheap and then just link them up together.
Yeah, because it is cheaper to just have a website and not pay for the integrated web shop as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's a possibility. I think sometimes for me that's too much of a headache to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to
I
do.
like to have it all
But
in the same place. It's a lot easier
yeah.
for me just to like one website I need to know, that's it.
Yeah, it's a bit cleaner as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I saw before I remember Jonna Jinton had this solution where you looked at her website and her blog, and then you could click the art shop
Yeah.
sign or jewelry sign, and then you would actually be transported onto another type of platform where she had all the silver
Was
jewelry.
that like an Etsy type shop or was it?
No, it was actually like a shop.
Huh.
I don't remember what type of platform it was, but it just felt like you realized that you were in another.
It was somewhere else.
Yeah, you were somewhere else.
Yeah. You just transported into another world.
Great, great.
Yeah, yeah,
It's kind of hard sometimes to talk about all of these things in English because it's like the
yeah.
words
You're
just.
used to talking about it in Norwegian.
Yeah, yeah, we are Norwegian. Keep that in mind, people.
Yeah.
We try our best. I literally think that some people that listen to me speak English and also that watch my videos, that they might perceive me as a less intelligent person because they don't know how I'm actually speaking in my mother tongue. You know, they
But
don't
that's,
really
I
know that I can be
know.
more eloquent and more like, yeah, just so much more fluent in a language. They just never hear that. They never actually experience me speaking with ease, you know, like
Yeah. Oh, but
it's hard.
yeah, that's a really hard thing. I know that a lot of immigrants talk about that when they need to learn the new
Yeah,
language, that they struggle with being taken seriously because
exactly.
their Norwegian is a little bit like not rusty, but yeah, it's not
Yeah.
fluent, and
Hmm.
then they struggle with just like like I'm still a grown up. I'm a grown up person. Like um, I know what I'm talking about, even though my words
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah,
come to
yeah.
me as easily. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's actually it's interesting and tricky. I think I have
Mm,
some friends as well that are like English speaking people, you know, and I think about it sometimes that they actually don't really know that I can be. I mean, they probably know, but maybe subconsciously they still perceive me as a bit more blunt, you
mm,
know? Like as my personality becomes a bit more blunt or like I don't know,
yeah.
because
You
the
just
way I
say
speak
it.
is more blunt and just like
Yeah.
rugged in a way
You just want
and
to get to the point.
yeah, and I'm just, you know, when you're like talking in English and you try to find the word but you can't find it, so you find
Yeah.
another word and you just replace that, and you know that it's not really the right word, but it's just
Yeah.
it makes the conversation easier to just
Yeah.
keep going. Yeah.
I do that with Norwegian though sometimes. Like Leo, my boyfriend, makes fun of me because sometimes English words come to me before the Norwegian word. So a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of me speaking is like Norwegian and then random English words just sprinkled like on it.
I do that all the time too. So annoying.
Yeah.
Especially after I started with YouTube, I feel like I do it so much because I think a lot about what to say in my videos and how to, like, I go for weeks just like
Mm.
going through these stories inside my head, and then yeah, my head becomes very preoccupied with the English language in a way.
Yes, same with me after like the tourist season in the shop. Since I speak
Yeah,
English all day long, it's like my thoughts are suddenly in English because that's
yeah.
the language I speak the most.
But it's so annoying though, because then you have two languages that you suck at, you know?
Yeah, yeah, you're like mid on both languages.
Yes. Great.
Oh,
Okay, but that's a digression. Let's get back
yeah.
to this. Um, okay, so the other question I have now, we have talked a little bit about building and all that stuff. I wanted to ask a little bit more about when the shop is built and the things that happen then when people actually buy stuff. So when people order on your web shop, they can order from everywhere in the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you have some sort of like promise on there on like how long it's gonna take before they're gonna get their order, and how do you actually manage to keep that promise, and how do you
Mm.
do that, all of that?
I have like an estimated delivery time. So if
Yeah.
people
Good.
order within Norway, I know that it usually takes within a week. I know that like usually it only takes like 2, 3 days, but I say a week just to make sure that
Mm,
it's like, okay, within a week.
yeah,
That's like
that's
a
clever.
reasonable amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Within Europe, I think my estimated time is between 1 to 2 weeks because it doesn't take that much longer than within Norway. Um, of course, it depends, like different places in Europe, but usually it doesn't take longer than 2 weeks.
Mm,
And then to the States and to Asia and to Australia, I think I've put 3 to 4 weeks just to make sure. Usually
mm,
it doesn't take that long either, but it's like
mm.
more, I want to prepare people that it might take longer and then they
Yeah.
can be pleasantly surprised instead of like writing me an
Mm.
angry email like, where is my order? I ordered it
Yeah, yeah.
yesterday.
Good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, that's very clever, I think.
Yeah.
How did you come up with these? How did you know what's the estimated time?
So since I had a web shop for a while before I started this new one, I sort of had like a basic time approximate to go off of.
Okay,
I
so it's
don't
based
actually
on your
know.
previous experience then.
Yeah, yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't know what I did when I first started my web shop
Yeah, because
actually.
how do people find that out? I'm just curious.
Like usually I guess like over the years I've gotten emails like when did you ship my order and when will it arrive, and then they will let me know when it has arrived, because I asked them to like, can you please let me know
Mm,
when it arrives, if they've asked like, do you have tracking information for my order.
mm.
And usually like I try to like remember how long did it take to this country, and then I like add that to my registry of
Yeah.
countries with information of shipping. So
Mm.
yeah.
Maybe it's possible to search, at least in Norway, to go on like the post office
Mm,
page and just see what they say is like the
yes.
estimated time
I
for
think maybe
delivery and
that's
then
what I
go off of
did.
that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
maybe that's what I did the first time, because I think I opened my first web shop around Christmas. And then I remember that the post office had this list of when you should place your order in time for Christmas from
Yeah.
each country, like every
Oh,
country in the
that's
world,
nice.
I think. Actually, it was kind of weird.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so different countries in Europe has like different delivery dates as well. But I think like in general, Europe has ish the same time of like approximate time to get delivered. So yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
So, yeah, maybe that's where you can go off of then, and then maybe take your advice to
mm,
maybe add on some more days or another week, just so that you are sure that people aren't gonna be surprised in a
mm.
negative
And I think
way.
I've written on my website as well that if you need like quick delivery, like
Yeah.
express shipping,
Hmm.
then that will cost extra, because express shipping is very expensive in Norway. Express shipping with
Mm.
tracking, whew,
Yeah.
that is a lot, and it will end up costing more than the print, like usually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I don't have tracking with my shipments.
Okay.
Mm,
So that's also one of my questions. So you don't have tracking on your
no,
packages
no.
at all? Okay.
And I've only had one artwork disappear over
Okay.
4 years with this platform. Actually,
And
like
when
since I
something
started, five.
disappears,
Yeah,
then you just basically send another one,
I sent a
right?
new one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's better to, I guess, in your case, especially since, I mean, because Bendik and I were talking about it. If you had like an artwork that was like worth, um, like
Yeah,
$3,000
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that,
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
maybe you would
Tracking is
probably
worth it.
add some tracking to that. But I
Yes.
guess with your prices, it's more almost cheaper for you to just
Mm.
send a new one the few
I mean,
times that
it's
happens.
yeah, and like when I ship originals, which I don't do that often anymore, but when people commission me to paint like
Yeah,
commissions, then I ship it with tracking, because it
of course.
is a
Yeah.
one like a one piece.
Yeah, it's one of a
Yeah, it's a
kind
one of a
piece.
kind.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. That makes sense. Um So that's also the question about shipping. So people go to your shop, they see it's going to take maybe 3 weeks because they live in this and this place, and then they buy this. How is your shipping? I know people do different things, but how do you do the shipping costs? Is it the same for every country? Do you just have a set price, or do you actually use this estimated percentage type of thing?
I do it based on how long it has to be shipped. Like to the States, it's a little bit more expensive. To the like Europe, it's a little bit more expensive. In Norway, it's like pretty cheap. But
And
it's
how do
yeah.
you do that in your, this is very technical, but how do you actually manage to set that up in your web page?
Oh,
Is
you
it
get
like
the
an
option.
automatic?
You get the
Oh,
option
there's an
to
option.
choose by country. So where the people are ordering from, that's the
Okay.
set. shipping costs. Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So basically, Wix calculates that for you.
No, you have to put in the amount that you want to charge for the places.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. So but you have the same for all countries in Europe, and then the same
Mm.
for all,
Yeah.
like
I
Australia,
keep it
United States.
simple that way, just to like,
Yeah,
because it is
smart.
approximately the same. Like if I ship to England and if I ship to Greece, it is like a
Yeah.
10 to 20 kronas difference, but it's not a lot. So it's like it is a little bit, and it depends also on the weight. I don't ship
Mm.
my orders by weighing them. I know a lot of people do that
Mm.
they charge the shipping cost by weight, because that is the difference when
Yeah.
you ship further away, and it's also the weight. So if people order 5 prints, it will cost more to ship than if you order one.
Yeah.
But since I have set prices on shipping, you sort of get away with it. If you buy more prints, then you get the shipping cheaper than it actually is.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. And that's maybe a good thing as well. I mean, business wise, because then maybe
Yeah.
people are inclined to buy more
Yeah.
when they're buying, anyways, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's smart. But so I feel like I explained that very badly for the people that maybe don't know what we're talking about. So I feel like there are usually like two, as I've learned at least, there are two different ways of doing this. One is just that you have the prices of your, you could set the prices of your artworks so they kind of cover the shipping in a sense, and then you
Mm.
don't add shipping to the costs. So some people do that and they actually have the same shipping prices for all over the world. And that's because I think if a person from Norway, for example, pays $100, and then a person from the United States pays $100, but the artwork is only worth maybe $50,
Mm.
then the prices will even out because it's not that expensive to ship to Norway for a person in Norway, and then it's more expensive to ship to, for example, United States, but it will even out because the people from Norway also pay the same. So they pay in a sense more. It's a
Mm.
bit unfair for the people in Norway, but it's still, it's like a way of doing it. It's just having a set price for all your artwork, no shipping costs, but just make sure that you have high enough prices on your artworks so that the shipping costs are in a sense covered, is what I've learned.
Mm.
But then the other way is like you are doing, is more like having some sort of shipping costs and that it's estimated for the countries that it's traveling to, basically.
Mm.
Because I think that's a bit tricky, like to choose either or, because it's also, yeah. What would you say are the pros and cons of that different way of doing it?
So I feel like whenever I see that some web shop has, like, for instance, free shipping, I'm more inclined to buy. So I've been thinking about that as well, to go over
Mm.
into like free shipping, but then I need to raise my prices quite a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
that is also like a little bit of a, how much can I charge, especially since, like, you and me, we live in Norway. So
Yeah.
I've noticed that in the shop at Bryggen as well, that people that come from countries that are cheaper than Norway will say that, oh, for this one print I can have a dinner and a glass of wine and dessert for this, the price of this print. And then I'm like, well, I can get
Jesus.
maybe like 2 cups of coffee
Yeah.
for that price of the print. So it's
Yeah.
different here, that like things cost more, so I need to charge more than other countries would. And also,
Mm.
if that, like, my prints would cost a lot online, I think a lot of people from other countries would be a little bit turned off by it,
Skeptical, yeah.
because, yeah,
Mm.
because of the
Yeah,
Norwegian pricing.
but still there are so many shops, international shops that I would definitely buy from, and I think they sell well in all countries,
Mm,
even though their prices are high. So I think it also depends on how people view the quality.
yeah, the product.
of the product.
Mm.
And then going back to Etsy again, I think it would be really hard on there, because then you would find other products that are so cheap that are quite
Mm.
similar.
Comparing, yeah.
But with your work, I feel like I think you could probably set your prices a bit higher,
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm planning to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I had
Yeah,
like
that's good.
yeah, since I've had the same pricing for 7 years. And I
Wow,
mean,
yeah, you need to amp them up.
inflation is happening everywhere. It's time
For
that it happens to
sure.
me as well. So
Yeah.
I'm going to raise my prices. That's why my web shop right now is closed. It's actually
Mm,
not available right now, but this is in January. So whenever you listen to this, people, it might be open
mm,
again. So you can check it out. But my
yeah.
prices will be raised, and also the quality of my prints will be better. And I want to start this new strategy or new type of way to do my web shop. So there are different ways to have a web shop. A lot of people have this dormant kind of web shop just lingering in the background, and it's like
Mm,
open always and people can just shop whenever they want to. I
yeah.
think that is the most common one, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the way I've had my web shop for 7 years or 5 years. Um, but this new way of doing it seems like that will work a lot better with the way that I work like other times of the year. So my original thought when I started my web shop was that I wanted to have a passive income. Sorry. A passive
No worries.
income through the year other than my like tourist season income, like really good
Boosts.
income months. Yeah, my boosts, right?
Yeah.
And it's been slow and steady in a way. It doesn't have like a lot of sales, but it doesn't. It's not quiet. It's not dead. Um,
Mm,
but what I want to do is that I want to start doing drops or launches. So
mm,
I have four launches a year where you'll be able to buy limited edition prints instead of just like the things are always there, because there's no urgency when it's
yeah.
always available in a way. And of course, like in my shop, my actual shop, it will always be available. So you have to come to Bergen, visit my shop to actually like have all the selection. But on my
Mm-hmm.
web shop, I want to do like a little bit more of a limited edition, and only for the web shop as well. Some prints that will be only limited edition on my web shop and not
Nice.
elsewhere. So it's like,
Good idea.
yeah, like a pro for buying online instead. So yeah,
Mm. But will you sell some originals on there then, or only prints?
I think it will be only prints. I think it will only be limited edition prints on very, very high quality paper, because I think I want to
Nice.
reserve my originals for the web shop. And no, not web shop, the
No,
actual
the real
shop.
shop.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
real
yeah.
shop. And I also
Mm.
think that if people want to reach out about an original that I post online, like on Instagram, then it's fine.
Yeah, they
But I
can
don't
do
think I
that,
will
of course.
promote
Yeah.
originals on my web shop.
It's a bit more of a hassle to send the originals as well,
That's
so
the thing. I'm scared. I'm scared of it disappearing, and I'm scared of it getting destroyed.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is in a way much easier to sell them in your shop and be safe
Yeah.
with that. Yeah. That makes sense to me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's I think there are I think maybe at least my followers will know this, but it's like you know this there's another YouTuber in Norway. She's called Lena Henningsen, and she has also started this web shop with her partner, and he paints these very beautiful landscapes.
Ah.
And they started this web shop, and they do this way. They have these launches where they sell out like all the things that he's painted for a while. Like he paints so much, he seems very productive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he makes a lot of beautiful paintings. And he also paints on these like candle cups and
Ah.
on books and different things. So you can buy different items with these landscapes on them, and they
Cool.
have these launches, and they just sell out everything, and then they retreat back into their
Mm.
cave, and he paints again, and then they like sell
Yeah.
out things again. I think their page is called Art of Nature or something.
Ah. Cool. I think I've heard of
So
that.
yeah, yeah, it seems like a very smart way to do it, I
Mm.
think. Yeah. And even with the, like, for him, it's of course like his originals in a sense.
Mm.
So every piece is a one of a kind, but I think still with like a limited edition with prints, it would feel
Mm.
very one of a kind and it would work. So
Yeah.
I think it's a very clever way to also save yourself the hassle of constantly having to have the web shop open. And also, you
Yeah.
never know, maybe suddenly it's going to take off, and that would be really cool. But if it
Mm.
was in the middle of a super busy tourist season and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
shop
Yeah.
was taking off, it would probably
Yeah.
be a bit tricky. So yeah, it makes it easier to plan out what to
Yeah,
do
it
in
makes it
different
easier to
months.
have a schedule in a way.
Yeah,
And
and focus
the
on one
only
thing at a time. You know.
yeah, but the only thing is that doing that kind of launches and drops takes a lot of promoting. So you have to
Mm,
think about the way that you use your web shop in a, like, you have to be business savvy to do it the right way.
yeah,
So they have like they say that you should start sneakily promoting drops and events like that 7 to 10 days before the actual drop. And then those
only
seven to
10
ten
days.
days, 7 to 10 days, yeah, beforehand. That's like the
Okay.
ideal time to start.
I would
Like,
say, like, I would think it would be like months ahead before you.
I mean, you can probably mention it months, but like if
Yeah.
I'm going to do it 4 times a year, my plan is to do like one in February, one in May, then in
Mm,
September, and then December. And it's not going to be
smart.
like a lot of months in between. Like, it is 3 months in between ish.
Mm,
So if you had like one event a year, I would do it like months ahead. But if
yeah.
it's like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
need to
Yeah. Yeah.
promote my next drop the day after my first drop is
Yeah. And
finished,
it
in a
sounds
way.
like a lot of hassle to start months ahead. But I just feel
Yeah.
like people always say, I feel like just you have to start at least a month before if you want to sell anything. But maybe if you do it really well in the 10 days, I guess
Mm.
that
That's the
works as
thing. You
well.
have to do it every day then for those 10
Yeah.
days. You need to
Mm,
have like a countdown kind of thing. You need to show like a sneak peek of one of the elements that you're going to drop. And you need to
yeah.
show another sneak peek of another element that you're going to drop. And the thing that I'm planning to do now when I do my drops is that I'm going to have one free mini print that comes with it for each drop. So it's going to change every time that I have a drop. I'm thinking I want it to be seasonal because it will be
Mm,
like a seasonal thing.
yeah.
But yeah, having like one item that is like a freebie each time, and it won't cost me like it's fine to have like one free element each time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's nice.
yeah,
I'm gonna ask you a bit more about that
yeah, yeah.
eventually as well. Okay, I just want to stay a little bit on the topic of just when people buy your print and what you do, because there are so many things here. So we have, yeah, you don't have tracking because that's usually not necessary.
Mm,
Um, so this is also a bit technical, but how do you do it with the address and everything? Like that's automatically uh, filled in, like they fill it in and then it goes to you from Wix,
hmm.
right? Do you
Yes.
write it by hand? Like, do you just, or do you
The thing
print
the, the
it?
thing is, a lot of people print it out. And
Okay.
they have like this own printer that prints out like labels that are specifically for postage.
Yeah, because
And
I
it's
that
so
seems so
clever.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have this thing. So every time someone orders something from a web shop, I write a little note that I put in with
Mm.
the order. Like on the back of a mini print, I write like thank you for the support, and like I want
Yeah.
it to be very personal. So I have
Nice.
handwritten note inside every order,
Mm.
and I handwrite on the envelope
Yeah.
because it's just the way that it's been for so long. And I could go high tech and like buy one of those address
Yeah.
printers,
Yeah.
but for some reason I find it really cozy, like I'm writing a friend.
And is it easy? You don't, because I would feel a bit stressed about writing something wrong and just doing it. having a typo that would just like make the whole package
I mean,
go astray.
sometimes I do. Sometimes I have typos, and then it's just the way it is.
Yeah, but does it still get to its
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
destination? Yeah,
yeah.
that's good. I think I'm overthinking it.
Like I used to write with block letters, like big letters, just to make
Yeah.
sure that because I have like scanners that read the address.
Mm.
And so it's machines. It's not people that read the address and then ship it forwards. It's machines that read it.
Oh,
So I thought
okay.
like, oh, I have to make it clear so that the machine can read it. But apparently,
Mm.
it can read anything. It can read like, yeah,
Nice.
any
That's
kind of
cool.
handwriting. Yeah.
But is it um what was I going to ask about? Yeah, I think what I was going to say was that you probably have I think when you need to print the labels is probably when you have a lot of orders.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like it's still so manageable for you. It's not so much, so it's possible for you to just do it by hand. And I think that sounds really nice to do that. But I can imagine if you have like a big drop and there's
You
like
sell
tons of
hundreds in
work.
a day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then a
then
printer would come in
suddenly,
handy.
yeah,
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. And do you print it yourself, or do you have someone that you print it with?
My prints.
Yeah,
Yeah, I print it myself. Yeah.
yeah.
I've always printed it myself. Well, when I first joined the shop 7 years ago, I tried ordering my prints online, but they were not the right
Mm,
colors, and I felt like the quality of the paper was off. So that's when I
mm.
decided to buy my own artist printer, and now I've gotten a new one, an even more
Oh,
fancy one.
yeah.
So now it can print on whatever paper I wanted to, and
Hmm.
it's really high tech.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Is
So
it
now I feel if
does it print bigger sizes as well, or
it's
only
still
A4?
A2. A2
A2.
is the biggest. No, maybe A3 or A2. But yeah.
Hmm, that's quite big though.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, that's
So
cool.
I can sell bigger prints, but I don't have that many available in the shop because I have limited space. I've been thinking
Mm,
about maybe start selling bigger prints on my web shop,
yeah,
but I need to find a way to ship them safely because I know you can get those tubes, those like cardboard tubes.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
whenever I buy things that come in a tube, it's always so frustrating to get it to lie flat afterwards because it gets shaped like a tube. And
Mm-hmm.
having like an
Yeah,
A2 or A3 cardboard package, it's so easy to break it. So
yeah,
yeah, so I need to figure out a way to get it safely shipped.
yeah. That's yeah. I remember. I think you had at some point like it wasn't as big the size of the
Mm,
printer, so I wanted something really big.
yeah, I needed to
And
order
then I
it from
think you
somewhere
ordered it
else.
through someone else. Yeah, and that came in this like
Tube. Yeah.
tube. Yeah, and I think that was it works. You know, as you say, it's safer to send it that way
Mm,
because it's well protected. But at the same time, I think it's yeah, it was a bit tricky to make it flat. You know,
yeah. If you
so I
frame it,
agree.
then it sort of like gets forced flat. But if you
Yeah,
don't frame it, then
I did.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but it can be a bit tricky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now we're done with the shipping questions. So now we're on part three, and we have touched on it already. I said
Yes.
that I had a lot of
Yeah,
questions.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about yeah needing to promote your work basically, and
Mm.
how do you promote your work? How do you plan on promoting your work in the future?
Yeah. Well, this is my weakest point because I'm not good at promoting myself at all. That's
Hmm.
been one of the things that I've been studying this year. Like in January, I've tried to find courses that teach me how to promote or just like tell me that it's okay to promote because for me it is that kind
Mm.
of mental barrier that I don't want to push. myself and my work on other people, and
Yeah.
that can get annoying or like just obnoxious, but it's really not. And this is it, it's my business, it's my work, so I have to do it. And
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting to the realization that this is part of the job, and I need to do it well.
Yeah.
So promoting, I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do like a, whenever I'm planning to do a drop, I am going to do at least one reel to like promote what is coming.
Good.
Um, and I want to do a reel afterwards as well to just show the shipping process and just like wrapping it up and all that, just to show the
The
behind the scenes
personality in
of a
it.
drop. Yeah, that's the thing. The behind the
Mm.
scenes, because I feel like a lot of people is interested to see what is happening to what they're buying, like
Yeah.
what is the process of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to get better at just remembering to do it. To have a kind of schedule. Like I said, like with the drops, I need to do it 7 to 10 days beforehand. I need to like start talking about it, that soon there's going to be a drop. And then I need to take pictures, good promotion pictures of the things that I'm going to sell. That is
Mm-hmm.
also something I really want to get better at, is taking the pictures of the work that I'm trying to sell, because that's not
It's
something.
tricky.
It's tricky. It's not
Yeah.
something that I'm used to doing, and it's so weird because when when you become an artist, you think that, oh, I'm just going to paint and then sell my work, and then suddenly you realize you have to be a photographer, you have to be a promoting marketer, you have to be a business bitch, you have to be all of these things. You have to be like a social media
Yeah.
savvy person. It's just like so many things that is necessary
Yeah.
to know when you
And
work
it's
like
also
this.
just the time of everything. It's like
Yeah, you need to
having
have
the
good timing
time
and
and having the
time.
time to take good pictures and be able to fully like focus on that and immerse
Yeah.
yourself in that. It's not
Yeah.
always so easy to find that time.
No, no, no.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I get it
And
for
also
sure.
the reason why I want to go like start doing launches and drops instead of just having like a sort of dormant web shop that's just always there is because I forget to update my web shop when it's just there in
Mm,
the background. I forget to do something special with it, and I forget to remove older prints that I don't necessarily want to sell anymore, and I forget to add the new things. So with
mm,
these drops and launches, I want to, it will be more up to date in a way with like the newest things that I want to sell, and it's more, it feels like it's more present in a way. It's more proactive instead of just like
yeah.
having something that is like simmering in the background. It's just like a hands-on type thing.
I think it sounds much more fun as well,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, to have a launch and just like put all your energy into that for short amount of time, then sell it out, send it out, and then, you know, focus on the next one instead of just this continually like thing where
Yeah.
you're just like constantly making the same things over and over and over and like I don't know, I think it sounds really much more creative in a way, much more fun.
Mm. But what if it doesn't sell out?
Yeah, but then you just try again.
That's the thing, like you have this expectation and you see other people that do these kinds of drops and launches and they sell out
Mm,
within like 24 hours and it's just like, oh, you guys are crazy, thank you. And then I'm here like,
yeah,
what if that doesn't happen? And most likely it won't, because it will be my first time when I do it.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
But
it's
that's
kind of
okay. You don't have to sell
yeah.
everything during one day. You could have like a week or something like that where
Yeah, but that's
they
the
can
thing.
buy
I want
it.
to have like a limited amount of time. I haven't decided how long that time will be yet. If it will be 2 days, like 48 hours, or if it will be
Mm,
a full week of like
yeah.
the shop will be open, and then maybe actually it will be 1 week.
Maybe you could try 1 week
Yeah,
and then you can
let's
see
see.
how it goes.
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't matter. I understand the like the stress about it, and maybe
Yeah,
feeling a bit stupid, if it doesn't sell out, and just like feeling like you hyped this thing
yeah,
in a way. It's
mm.
that feeling like you hyped something really, really high up, and then your friends come to see it and they don't really like it that much. You know
Yeah,
that feeling?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Oh, but it is like a try and fail kind of thing. So I just have to keep doing
Yeah.
it and learning along the way.
I
And
think not being discouraged if the first time isn't perfect is
yeah,
the way to go. Like, you need to
yeah, yeah,
focus on just trying again and learning from what you didn't feel like worked out. I mean, you've been doing the real life shop has been like 7 years in the making. You've
mm,
learned so many things along the way.
yeah.
And I mean, you have a web shop and you know how to work around that, but still, this is something really, really new. And maybe you will need some years to like really master
Get
the
into
art of
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
And promotion is like I feel like marketing, it's an
Mm,
art to itself. There's a reason why people study marketing, it's
mm.
actually really, really tricky and really hard.
It's
And
a
there's so
lot
much
of things.
psychology and so much like creativity and so much work that goes into that. So if it
Mm,
isn't perfect, I think that's okay. You didn't study marketing, like
yeah,
it's okay.
yeah.
I think you just need to figure out what works and what feels comfortable for you.
Mm, I agree.
Yeah. And if it doesn't sell out, I guess you will not be printing everything beforehand either. So you
No,
sell what you sell and then you send that off, and that's great.
I'm actually thinking I'm going to print it out beforehand though, because
Oh yeah, okay.
I have this plan for the shop as well that everything will be limited edition, but in different quantities. So all of my prints from this year on will be limited edition on
Interesting.
new types of paper. Um, so it will be easier in a way. It feels more professional and it feels like it's like the natural next step. And I feel like actually I should have done it a long time ago in a way. Um,
So
but
basically you're making everything a little bit more expensive and a little bit more exclusive this year.
yes, so it's a
Yeah.
like it's good for
Cool.
both. It's good for me. It's good for the customer because it's more, yeah, it's more like an even exchange. I feel like this way.
So I guess the downside with that would be some of your best sellers, if you've decided that it's a limited edition, you can't
Yeah.
just keep selling that.
Mm-mm. But then I need to paint something new. There's
Yeah.
something new that can become the bestseller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
And you paint new things all the
I
freaking time.
do actually have way too much stuff for the shop. So in a way, it will be nice that when something sells out, it will be gone forever. But then I have a free space for something new. Because right now, it's really hard to find the space for everything that I want to have up. So having like a
Mm,
forced way to have to remove something,
yeah.
yeah, it will help.
Will you write that underneath in the
Mm,
shop? Yeah,
yeah.
like how many editions it's
Yes, so I'm
about. Yeah.
thinking like most of the prints in the shop will be printed 100, so you get like something of 100,
Hmm.
and then I think maybe it will be 50 in the shop and 50 online. I haven't really decided yet how to do that, but
I don't
yeah,
know.
I'm planning to do one very high quality print because I've recently bought this new kind of paper that
Mm.
is, it is so expensive, but it's so beautiful. It is a gorgeous paper, and the printer prints perfectly on it. It's like if it
Mm,
looks like an original. It's so
nice.
cool, but it is a really expensive paper. So I'm thinking I'm going to do each launch. I'm going to have one design, one print that will be on that paper, and it will only be 10 of them.
Mm,
So
nice.
when those tens are gone, then it's gone.
You really have a big plan for this. I'm also
But I
just
want
trying
to.
all I can to not like start copying this in my head. Like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing.
No, but that's the thing. Like what I'm doing now, I get inspiration from other people. So
Yeah.
it's just passing along the knowledge that you have. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks for
yeah, of
for being
course.
generous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
way. I feel like for so long, it has felt kind of like artists have this kind of gatekeeping or some artists,
Mm.
not everyone, but it is that thing that it's so hard to make it as an artist and earn a living as an
Yeah.
artist. And the more people that know how to do it, it's more competition. I feel like a lot of people have
Hmm.
had that mindset for a long time. But
Definitely.
I want more people to be able to do this. I feel like it's such a fun way to live your life by doing something you
Yeah.
love. It is
Yeah.
a lot of uncertainty, and it's a lot of like you don't have any stability when it comes to your economy at all. But
Hmm.
it is like it's very worth it just doing what
Mm.
you love. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I think, yeah, we need to help each other out. I think that's the only way.
Yeah.
It's the competition is just so unnecessary, I
Yeah, I
think.
know.
And it's gonna be there anyways. I feel like
Yeah.
you don't really remove it either by just not being nice. Uh,
No, 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 no.
the
I
competition
agree.
will still be there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So are you
I
gonna
have
make a website?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a web page, and yeah, like my plan is not really to sell. I think I've just realized that I'm just one human and I can't create videos, work almost full time with touring Norway, and at the same time make jewelry, for example, or like other products, artworks or something, and sell
Mm.
that. So I can't do it all, even though I really, really want to. And I've also started noticing how much excitement there is around Bendik's artworks whenever I share them in my videos. There's nothing else people comment on. It's only the artwork. Maybe it's like a 5-minute portion of the video, and
Mm.
all the comments are about his art.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I'm really, really hoping that we can figure something out, so that we can sell some of his art
yeah.
uh, through a web shop.
I think a website with a web shop is a good
That's
way
the
to
plan.
go. And
Yeah.
if you want to like cross promote it in your videos as well, I think that would
Hmm.
be a really good plan.
That was the
And I
plan. Yeah.
feel like you should start making reels.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, just
He or
like
me?
both of you,
Yeah.
just like
I
film
made
the
one today.
process. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
made one today.
Yeah, you did? Have you posted
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I need to check it
It's a bit
out.
funny. It's a funny
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I like it.
It's another funny one. I love the other one.
Yeah. I'm so like, I'm looking at them many times over, still like, like laughing. It's so stupid.
But that's a good sign. When you find it funny, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, I know, I know. I'm just laughing at my own jokes a lot. Yeah. I do that with my videos as well, with the funny things in my videos.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
laugh
yeah.
so hard at it.
But that's the thing, like finding the joy in the work that you do, it's so important to actually
Mm,
manage to do it for a long time.
yeah, yeah, it is. But I
Yeah.
think I definitely feel like Bendik and I working together on creating this would be the perfect mix, because I would be then, as we said, like the marketing part of things
Mm,
they are like, it's a big portion, it's a big thing. And I also have the reach, and I can do the marketing in a sense, because I can
yeah.
do that in my videos, and just generally, I think I'm quite good at that. um and I can get better at it, and I can focus on that, but I cannot focus on creating the artworks and doing the marketing at the same time. I just don't have the time with everything
Yeah.
else that I'm doing, so it wouldn't just never work. But if he was focusing on creating his art, which is what he's doing anyways, and I
Yeah.
was focusing on promoting his art, then we could just, yeah, do it together. So that's kind
Yeah.
of what we have been talking about.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, but I think, like, just as you said, that's why I'm feeling quite inspired by this. I think having a launch and not having it be all year is actually very genius. I think that will be so good for us as well, because I think we can't really do it all year.
Mm-mm.
I've been thinking about that as well. Like, how would we even do that?
Yeah.
Because it's so much else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if we
When it doesn't
know
make
that,
sense, it doesn't make sense.
no, it doesn't. It's like being on tour. How could we do that? We couldn't have printed anything. We couldn't have, like, I don't know. It would be really, really tricky. So I think
Yeah.
having specific months where we have a launch and we work towards that, and we know that that's going to be the important month for this web shop, and then we do it in that month, and then
Mm.
we can move on and just focus on other things. That would be really, really cool.
But then I think like twice a year, if you can do like two launches a
Yeah.
year, like one in spring and one in winter or
Mm-hmm.
fall, then it's
Yeah.
like, and if you film the process of it, like him going slow and taking his time and
That's my
being like
plan.
so
Yeah.
meticulous about every detail, then
Mm-hmm.
that shows how much the work is worth in a way as well. So it
Yeah.
shows that kind of
Mm,
like he is dedicated to making this perfect. I think that
exactly.
that is a really good way of promoting it.
Yeah, that's my plan, to like film a lot of the process, and then we need to figure out something. Like, he needs to work a little bit on creating some things that aren't so super mega detailed and complicated,
Yeah,
because they will be too expensive for
yeah.
us to sell to an international audience, I think.
Mm. And how do you ship
Uh
paper artworks like that?
yeah, it's we need to figure it out.
Yeah,
I think it would be okay. The problem is like the frames. Like, we're looking into that, how to, because he has built for the artworks he has now. He's built the frames himself.
yeah,
That takes shitloads of time.
yeah.
So I think that would be really hard if we wanted to keep the prices down. So everything is about that. Like, how can we keep the prices down, but still produce like quality artworks? And then
Mm,
maybe we will sell, like you do, a few very exclusive ones that are like quite expensive, and then we
mm,
will sell others that will be still quite like advanced and all that, but still doesn't take as much time to produce, so it the prices can be a bit lower.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the tricky part, I think,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah,
It's we're not going to start doing it before the summer. We decided this summer we're going to give it a year, and then we're going to start in the summer, like actually working on this, and then we're going to
yeah,
probably use a full year working on this because we need the time to do it. So
yeah.
it's not something that's going to happen very soon, but we're still like in the thinking process.
That's a good plan because I had a mini breakdown yesterday.
Oh no.
Because it's not even that long since we talked, and I said this is a great year. I'm so
Yes.
excited for everything. And then yesterday, like I've been researching, I've been planning, and I've been so excited about the planning process of like launches and drops and doing
Mm,
on Patreon. I'm planning to do like a print subscription and a sticker subscription. And I also want to make like a care package that I put some of my favorite art supplies in,
yeah.
that people can subscribe and like get a package of like a Norwegian candy and art supplies.
Nice.
And I had originally planned that the 1st of February would be my first launch for the web
Wow.
shop. I know it's stupid because it's so close. Today is the 19th of January.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself, Anna.
Yeah. So yesterday I had a little bit of a menti breaky, and
Yeah.
I decided that I have to wait till May for the next month that I want to do launches, so that I have the
Mm,
time to take the pictures, print the
yeah.
prints, get everything in order, get it all like planned out
Mm,
properly, and have like the promotional pictures. Because if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right. I don't want to do it rushed. But I was so
yeah.
eager to just start. So my whole being was like, I want to do it in February. And then I realized that's not possible. It's not
Yeah.
actually possible to do
Don't
it
do
this
that.
quickly. Yeah.
I think I had this discussion with my patrons at some point, because it was like last year during around this time, I think,
Yeah.
where I was suddenly like, I had a few months there, I think 2 months or something, that would be quite open. I didn't have that many work things that was going on, and we weren't touring before March. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll create an online course or a web shop, or maybe both. And like, I had all these plans, and I wrote about it on my Patreon page, and people were like, so, go for it, but still, like, I run a web shop and it doesn't take 2 months to build. Like, you need some more time.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, and I managed, to create the online course. That was what I ended up doing. And it was more like a learning thing for me. I wanted to just learn how to create an online course and just go through the process and just feel how it
Mm,
felt. But promoting the course just completely flopped. I didn't have enough time to do that at all.
mm,
So I feel like, and also, of course, like filming it and all those things, there were so many things I could have done differently, I feel like, but I just didn't have the time for that.
yeah.
And I really think with the web shop this time, I'm gonna give myself that time because I want to
Mm,
do it. First of all, I want it to be fun,
mm.
and I think it's not gonna be fun
No,
if
no,
it's
no. If you
for
rush it,
you.
it's not going to
If
be
you
fun.
decide to do it now, like 1st of February, it's not gonna be fun. It's
No.
just gonna be horrible.
Yes. Yes.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Give
No, no.
yourself the time and just
Yeah.
enjoy the process, learn the things you want to learn, just keep doing the things that you're doing this January. I think that's amazing. Just planning out and just strategizing a bit more, and I think that's really good as well.
I just get so eager. It's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
me
just wanna
too. Me too.
I want to get it out
Yeah.
there.
I sometimes also have I struggle with the lack of time. It's just generally feeling like, oh yeah, I'm going on tour in two
Mm,
months, and then there's going to be this disruptive break, in my life where I can't focus on anything else than touring, and then I'm
yeah.
going to be back again, and then suddenly there's going to be other things maybe that have to get my attention. And yeah, so I feel like sometimes I just really want to do everything in 1 month because I
Yeah.
just know that I don't have that much time,
Mm.
which is super annoying. But sometimes it's a good thing as well, being eager and wanting to do it because you get shit done.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's pros and cons here.
But now that I've put it aside and thinking like, okay, I have good time now I feel like I can find the fun in it again. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah.
you're
Uh,
you're maybe gonna relate to my reel then if you
oh
have this
yeah,
breakdown
cool, cool,
yesterday. Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Another thing that I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
So with Wix, you're able to pay for your domain name. So
Mm.
if you don't pay for your domain name, Wix would still be a part of like your URL. URL.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
that, yeah. And since I pay for it, it's just akbillustrations.com. So
Mm-hmm.
that's also, I feel like that is worth the money in a way. I think you can also buy your domain name through
GoDaddy, for example.
GoDaddy. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what the price difference is between buying it through Wix or GoDaddy, but it's also like a simple thing to just do through the same platform.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, I've paid for mine already, actually for a few years,
Yeah.
because
Cool.
I knew I wanted to create a website, so I paid for the name with GoDaddy for a while so that nobody's going to take it in the
Yeah, yeah,
meantime.
yeah, so that you have it ready.
What would you say is the reason you chose Wix and not Squarespace?
They're pretty similar. It's not like there's not a lot of difference. I think maybe it was just like by chance because I was watching a YouTube video and someone had like a promo code, like use code for 10% off. And then I was like, okay, cool. Then Wix
Nice.
it is, I
Yeah.
guess, because I tried both for like a limited time, just like see what the differences were. And both Wix and Squarespace is like it's
Mm.
yeah, it's basically the same thing, but with a little bit of a different template system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe if people are interested in that stuff, they can look it up. There are a lot of videos online on like Wix versus Squarespace and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. And keep it simple because I know that when you start a website, it's so tempting to use all the fancy tools that they provide to have like a collage of pictures and have all these
yeah,
buttons that you can press and
yeah, yeah.
it can so easily get crowded, so just keep it as simple as you can and
Yeah,
like
yours is very simple, and I really like that. I think it's
yeah, because
cool.
it should be easy to navigate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but thank
Mm,
you.
yeah. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. Yeah, we need to figure out the whole branding situation as well. If it's gonna be me and Bendik, like who is gonna be the dominant?
Ah, yeah.
Are we gonna create another name, or are we gonna do it in my name, or I don't know.
Yeah, if you're a team or you're like, or if
Yeah,
it's his name in a way.
yeah. Because with that's also like with Lena Henningsen and her boyfriend Joachim. I think they created Art of Nature. It seems
Yeah,
like to me like they created this new kind of business in a way
yeah,
together, and they gave it another name, so it's not her name and it's not his name.
mm,
Maybe we could do something like that.
yeah,
I'm not sure. Depends on what I want to use the webpage for. If
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just to sell the art or if it's also like promoting us. I don't know. These are the things that we need to discuss this summer when
yeah.
we are gonna start for real. Yeah.
We could do a
It's
part two.
exciting.
We can do a part two when you get there, and if you
Yeah,
have some new
exactly.
questions and new thoughts.
And you too, when you have had the launch, we need to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that. That would be really cool.
We can do a part two.
Yeah. I think this is good. This is really good. It's been
Yeah,
very long episode now, so I think
yeah,
this
but
is
it's
where
been
we're gonna
interesting.
end it. Yeah. It's I'm gonna leave it as long as this is, I think, because it's just so much things that are good to discuss. But
Yeah.
if the people listening here have any other questions about web shops, please comment below and we will
Yes.
try to answer it maybe in the comments or in another episode, and
Yes.
we will get back to you. So I hope it was maybe interesting for some of you if you are looking to make a web shop.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll see how Anna and I do. If we have a total mental breakdown, we will let you know.
Yes, we can film that too.
Yeah. But thank you so much for answering all my questions,
Of
Anna.
course.
I'll see you in the next one.
Yes. See ya.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Bye.